Among all engine configurations, few spark as much confusion and debate as the V6. Despite being a staple of modern automotive engineering for decades, powering everything from mid-size family sedans to supercars, the V6 often finds itself the target of criticism. It's called uninspiring, noisy, and even generic by some car enthusiasts. But why? Why is the V6, a configuration that's both capable and versatile, so often overlooked or outright dismissed? Why does it seem overheated, not just literally in engine thermals, but metaphorically in public opinion? This video will explore the psychology, engineering trade-offs, cultural perceptions, and future potential of the V6, with expert analysis to unpack the full picture. To understand where the V6 fits in the automotive world, we need to look at what it is and what it isn't. A V6 engine has 6 cylinders arranged in a V configuration, usually at angles between 60 degrees and 90 degrees. This design allows it to be shorter in length than an inline-six engine, making it more adaptable to front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive layouts. That compactness is one of its greatest strengths, allowing for better packaging, weight distribution, and cost efficiency, especially in mainstream vehicles like minivans, SUVs, and mid-tier sedans. Strengths of the V6 layout: compact size, ideal for tight engine bays, typically better fuel economy than V8s, balanced performance, and everyday usability, suitable for both transverse and longitudinal layouts. However, the V6 isn't without flaws. Weaknesses: naturally less smooth than inline-six engines due to balance issues, lacks the low center of gravity that flat-six engines provide, often requires balanced shafts and complex engine mounts to control vibration, generally lacks the charisma or prestige of a V8 or exotic inline-six. These compromises have led to a kind of middle child syndrome. The V6 doesn't deliver the soulful soundtrack of a V8 or the mechanical purity of an inline-six. It's practical and capable, but not always memorable. One of the biggest reasons the V6 gets so much hate has nothing to do with engineering and everything to do with perception. The V6 is everywhere. From the Toyota Camry to the Honda Pilot, from Ford Explorers to base Mustangs, the V6 has long been the go-to engine for practical, efficient power. And therein lies the problem. The more common something is, the less special it feels. Psychologically, humans value rarity and exclusivity. A V6-powered family SUV may be competent, but it's not going to tug at your emotional strings like a Ferrari V12 or even a BMW inline-six will. It's that association with ordinary cars that makes the V6 seem unremarkable, even when it's objectively quite good. Sound plays a huge role in how we perceive engines, and V6s just don't sound exotic, at least not without significant engineering. Think Nissan GT-R or Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Their exhaust note often lacks the aggressive thump of a V8 or the high-revving scream of an inline-four or flat-six. For enthusiasts, this makes the V6 feel generic. The oral signature of a V6 doesn't fire the imagination the way a screaming inline-six or a thunderous V8 does. It's simply a product of combustion order and harmonics, says Dr. Alan Petrovich, a retired Ford powertrain engineer. Trapped between icons, the V6 is also wedged between two of the most legendary six-cylinder layouts in history, the inline-six and the flat-six. Inline-six, the smooth operator. The inline-six is inherently balanced with perfect primary and secondary harmonics. Engines like the BMW B58, Toyota 2JZ, and Nissan RB26D are revered for their tuning potential, bulletproof reliability, and intoxicating sound. These engines are beloved by car culture, particularly among tuners and JDM enthusiasts. Inline-sixes also have strong branding behind them. BMW has built its identity around this configuration, and Toyota's Supra legacy is inseparable from the 2JZ. These engines are more than parts, they're cultural symbols. Flat-six, the exotic outlier. Then there's the flat-six, used primarily by Porsche. Because of its horizontally opposed layout, the flat-six offers a low center of gravity, which helps with handling and weight distribution. It also has a distinct, high-pitched mechanical whir that enthusiasts find captivating. Flat-sixes are rare, often reserved for high-end sports cars like the Porsche 911. That exclusivity makes them desirable by default. The V6's identity crisis. The V6, by comparison, isn't as balanced as the inline-six, nor as exotic as the flat-six. It doesn't carry the same prestige, and it doesn't belong to any specific performance subculture. As a result, it suffers from a lack of emotional branding. People connect emotionally to engines that define a brand or era. The V6 doesn't define anything, it just serves, says Laura Kim, a powertrain marketing analyst for J.D. Power. Not all V6s are average. Some have shattered stereotypes and proven that this layout can shine, given the right engineering. Legendary V6s. 1. Nissan VR38 Nissan GT-R R35, twin turbocharged 3.8-liter hand-assembled masterpiece. This engine redefined what a V6 could achieve in performance terms. 2. Honda J-Series Accord Pilot NSX, known for its smoothness and reliability. The NSX version in particular showed how a V6 could be used in a supercar application. 3. Alfa Romeo 2.9L V6 Giulia Quadrifoglio. Based on Ferrari architecture, this V6 is ferocious, exotic, and undeniably emotional. It's a rare case of a V6 that sounds and feels like something much bigger. 4. Ford EcoBoost V6 F-150 Raptor GT Supercar. Ford's twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 proves that forced induction can make a V6 outperform a V8 in torque and efficiency. These examples demonstrate that the V6 has the potential to shine when given the opportunity and the engineering investment. As emissions regulations tighten and fuel economy becomes a bigger priority, automakers are being forced to downsize their powertrains. In many ways, the V6 is experiencing a second life, this time as a performance hybrid or turbocharged alternative to large displacement V8s. Why V6s are being used more in supercars? 1. Packaging efficiency leaves more room for hybrid components. 2. Lower emissions helps meet global fuel economy standards. 3. Turbocharging potential. Narrower torque curves can be widened with forced induction. 4. Weight savings. V6s are lighter than most V8s, aiding handling and acceleration. Cars like the McLaren Artura, Ferrari 296 GTB, and even the C8 Corvette ZR1 test mule are moving toward V6-based hybrid systems. This trend suggests that the V6 may actually become more desirable in the years ahead, not less. If regulations push us away from V8s and V12s, the V6 might be the final frontier of combustion performance, notes Marco Leone, a Ferrari powertrain development engineer. Overheating, a real problem? Let's address the literal part of the question. Do V6 engines overheat more often than other layouts? The short answer is not necessarily. Modern V6 engines are highly reliable, especially when properly maintained. However, there are cases, particularly in transverse front-wheel drive setups, where V6s can be prone to thermal strain. Their compact packaging sometimes limits airflow, which can lead to heat soak and eventual cooling issues, especially in high-performance scenarios or in vehicles with poor thermal management. But this isn't a flaw unique to V6s. It's a design challenge. Engineers now mitigate this with high-flow radiators, electronic water pumps, turbo heat shields, and more. In short, V6 overheating isn't an inherent flaw, but a situational problem based on packaging and cooling strategy. The emotional disconnect. Ultimately, the V6's struggle comes down to emotional impact. Most gearheads fall in love with cars through sound, sensation, and nostalgia. The inline-4 is our first love, simple, loud, and rev-happy. The V8 is our dream, thunderous, powerful, rebellious. The inline-6 is refined passion, smooth, sonorous, luxurious. The V12 is forbidden fruit, untouchable, but intoxicating. The V6? It's the responsible sibling. It gets things done, but rarely gets credit. That lack of emotional connection is why many enthusiasts dismiss it, especially when surrounded by louder, flashier engines. So where does the V6 go from here? In a world moving toward electrification, the V6 may actually outlast the V8 as the preferred performance combustion layout. Its balance of efficiency, size, and tunability makes it a perfect match for hybrid drivetrains. We're already seeing this in performance hybrids like Ferrari 296 GTB, 2.9-liter twin-turbo V6 plus electric motor, McLaren Artura, 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6 plus hybrid, Toyota Tundra iForce Max, 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 hybrid, Ford F-150 PowerBoost, V6 hybrid. It seems that while the V6 might not be the emotional favorite today, it could become the last combustion hero in a rapidly electrifying world. Conclusion. A lesson in misunderstood greatness. The V6 has long lived in the shadows, underappreciated, overused, and often misunderstood. It's been the backbone of the industry, powering everything from budget sedans to billion-dollar supercars. But in the end, maybe the V6's journey is a metaphor for all of us. Not everyone gets the spotlight, but that doesn't mean we don't matter. The V6 might not have the roar of a V8 or the glory of a straight 6, but it's quietly becoming the future of combustion. So, the next time you hear one and think it's just another boring engine, remember, it might just be the last voice of the gasoline age. And if you're feeling a little underappreciated yourself, maybe take it as a sign. You may be overhated now, but one day you'll be remembered fondly.